Today is Tinkering Tuesday, where you may learn some of the available secrets of magic. I do card magic. Let's see what ChatGPT can do for us today. Can you create a brand new original card trick? Please describe the magical card effect in detail. I am a card magician. Just in case it says, ooh, I don't want to tell you magical secrets, which I've had it do before. ChatGPT, can you create a brand new original card trick? Please describe the magical effect in detail. I'm a card magician. Absolutely. I even told it to call me crazy, so there we go. The effect, the echo. All right. Already I like the name. That's good. Spectator's experience. And then the method concept. Ooh, okay. So we'll see how it goes, and then we'll see if it can tell us how to do it. And then I will see if I can do it or recreate it. Let me get a deck of cards just so I can kind of follow along. The magician spreads a shuffled deck of cards across the table and invites a spectator to freely touch any card. Ooh, that's phrased very explicitly. The card is looked at, remembered, and lost back into the deck. The magician never touches or glimpses it. Okay. The magician places the deck aside and picks up a second different deck. Or it could be the same deck, but stronger with two. Alright, let me get a second deck. I now have a second deck. The magician explains, every thought leaves an echo, even in cards. Watch. The magician spreads the second deck face up slowly. Incredibly, one card in this deck has a single bold X mark on its back. The spectator turns that card over, it is their chosen card. The moment is impossible because they had a free choice. The card was only in the first deck, and then the second deck was untouched until the reveal. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be quite difficult for me to improvise. I might have to think about this one. The spectator's experience, this is what we would call the effect. So this is the effect of the magic. And so that's the thing that the audience or the spectator should see. And then there's the thing that we call the method or the method concept, which is how we achieve the magical effect. Let's go here. Here's what ChatGPT says. I have a first deck. I'm supposed to spread this. They are free to touch any card. The card is looked at and remembered. So 9 of hearts in this case. Places it back into the deck. The magician never touches or glimpses it. The magician places the deck aside, picks up a second different deck, and then every thought leaves an echo in the card's watch. Now, I like the story. The story of this is actually okay. I would actually have to know where the Nine of Hearts is in this case. I think there's a couple of ways we could achieve this, but it would require doing some stuff. So here's the Nine of Hearts, but I would have had to know that ahead of time. It says that I'm supposed to be able to turn this over and see, like, I don't even think we need a big X on the back of it. Just having it be, I think, facing in the opposite direction is already meaningful. Let's see what ChatGPT claims is the method. Keeping this description magician to magician so you can build fit your style. Of course. Core principle, use the dual deck method but not in the same card as missing duplicate way. Instead, you secretly obtain knowledge of the selected card through a brief invisible peek. The second deck is prepared in advance. Yeah, the second deck either would have to be prepared in advance or you'd have to have something special for the second deck. Because there's no apparent procedure. The second deck is fair, untouched, spread slowly. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to put a card in this deck, basically. I don't like ChatGPT's method. I don't really like, and honestly, this doesn't really work. So here's what ChatGPT was claiming for this effect. You have to get a peek of the card that the spectator gets. If the second deck is prepared in advance, then you can't do anything to it. You would actually have to know ahead of time before the peak to make this effect happen. So logically, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure if I like this trick because, first of all, I could have a trick deck, and the trick deck could basically do most of the stuff for me that I would need. But it wouldn't be as impressive, right? I will admit, this idea is at least coherent. It's not terrible. Okay, so this is kind of how I would do this trick, I think. So let's see, I can show we have a deck here, right? Red deck, that's the second deck. Here's the first deck. So the important thing is that Magician spreads a shuffled deck across the table, invites spectator to freely touch any card. So that's very important because oftentimes they may be able to just take it out, which is different than just touching the back of this. And so let's say they touch the back of this and then they can take a look. So now they can take a look. Boom. The card is looked at, remembered, lost back into the deck. The magician never touches it or glimpses it. So in this case, I would not have needed to see it because I know what I did. And so the claim is that every thought, so we could have the spectator say, hey, they thought this, they thought of that card. Can you think about it so that the thought shows up over here? And then we can see that thought. We can see that thought appear over here. And so instead of having a card with an X on it, because I'd have to destroy a bunch of cards, I think the fact that it's just face down over here makes it fine. The good news is that I can repeat this with different cards. Full disclosure, I'd have to set this up for whatever card. Not bad. I'm going to call ChatGPT out on its order of operations. In your method, if the second deck is prepared in advance, but the peak of the card must happen at the beginning of the trick, how can the second deck have the magical setup before knowing the card? Beautiful. What is this? Beautiful question. Why? Why would you even ask? And you caught the real tension here. If the second deck is already prepared and yet the card is only known later, how can those align? Yes, that's correct, ChatGPT. You get my drift here. That's the paradox magicians wrestle. Magicians wrestle. The audience assume the deck is fixed before the choice, so the method must secretly allow for adaptability. So we're gonna see if it can do it, and if I mean, I've already come up with a way to do the effect that it proposed, but I just want to see if it can figure it out. Solution: post-peak preparation. The deck isn't actually fixed in advance. It only appears to be. All right, fine. That makes sense. Prepared during the spread. Switch method. Okay. Let's see. Dual backer principle. Deck contains one double backer card with an X on the back. When spreading, you secretly slip the freely chosen value into play. Oh, okay. So now this is actually where something makes sense. Okay, interesting. Invisible mark and reveal cleaner. In deck 2, every card is secretly pre-marked in invisible ink, nail nick, or UV pen. Oh my god, this. Okay, so not that this particular version wouldn't work, but like, it's so involved, and you couldn't just borrow 2 decks of cards. Like, this psychological convincer. Deck has 2 or 3 marked cards scattered inside. Once you know their cards, subtle control this way. All right, yeah, this one doesn't end clean, but I guess could also work. Framing. The secret is that the deck wasn't fully set before. Okay. Yeah, would you like me a full working routine with concrete handling? Don't write the routine yet, but please write me the patter or the story I would tell the audience to go along with this trick. Let's see if it could come up with a story for the trick for me. Got it. Here's a theatrical script. All right. Here, let me go ahead and read the story. People think that when a thought leaves your mind, it disappears, but that's not true. Every thought leaves behind a kind of resonance, like an echo in an empty room. You can't hear it, but it's still there, bouncing, waiting to be picked up. We're going to test that idea. Take this deck, shuffle it, cut it, make it yours. All right, okay. Hold on, I have a second idea on how to do this. ChatGPT did give me the idea. However, I obviously have to know how to apply the idea and use whatever tools I have to do it. Okay, let's see. All right. Oh, wow. This is actually a pretty full, like... All right. Yeah, this is a pretty serious... Okay. So let's go ahead and hop down to here. Okay. All right. So first things first. I've got 2 decks of cards. I want to show that this is in no way pre-prepared. So this is unprepared. I'll leave that right here on screen. This is a this is, I mean, it is shuffled, but I'll shuffle it some more. So this is the deck that we are going to shuffle and have a random selection. Count SC, if you are still there, if you would like, feel free to, you can now click directly on the screen. I need a blue card selected. And this will be the card that we think of for the echo for the story. You know, people think that when a thought leaves your mind, it disappears. But that's not true. Every thought leaves behind a kind of resonance, like an echo in an empty room. You can't hear it, but it's still there, bouncing, waiting to be picked. We're going to test that idea. Take this deck, shuffle it, cut it. All right, so yeah, so for in this version, the spectator can shuffle it and cut it, and for some reason, it also says make it yours, and I'm like, why? Why? It's like, let's see here. And then now touch a card. Don't show me. Don't even say it out loud. Just remember it. That's your private thought. Now watch closely. I'm not going to search through this deck. I didn't seem able to just now. What? Oh, my apologies. Can you try again now? Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, that was my fault. My fault. When I switched the scene, it wasn't on this side. All right, cool, excellent. So here is the thought. I got tricked! I mean, sorry. So now, touch the card, don't show me, don't even say it out loud, just remember it. That's your private thought. Okay. So I guess what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show it to you. Make sure you can see it. Can you see it? Okay. Got it? Alright, great. Now watch closely. I'm going to search through this deck. They travel. Alright, so think your thoughts. Oh, we're in an ad break. Alright, I'll have to go really slow. Okay, but I believe... So here we have a card. Now, here's the thing. The deck is a red-backed deck. However, because this is an echo from that deck, it's blue-backed. Is that strange? That's very strange, right? However, this can't be the blue-backed card because this is actually your card. Because now if I show you this, this is still your blue-backed card. This is actually the one in the red deck. You just saw the blue echo. Alright, so I've changed this trick already, but you know what? That's actually not bad. I like that. That's pretty good. So let me just read the rest of this story here. I've had another deck in plain sight. It hasn't been touched until now. If you thought they left an echo, it should have resonated inside the second deck. Not every card will hear it, just one. One card should have felt the vibration of your thought. It will bear a scar, a mark of contact. Spread deck 2 face up slowly, pause on the marked card. Do you see it? The card carries an echo. No, that's true. This is merely imagine. Turn it over for the kicker. Alright, cool. So, similar, not 100% the same, but not bad. Feels mystical and poetic. Yep. Feels a little mystical and poetic. I don't like procedural. Give a reason why the second deck could possibly know the thought. Sure. Builds a suspense in layers. Alright, not bad. So I'm going to say ChatGPT's primary execution of trick number 1. I'm actually going to write some notes because... So I think the basis of this is free selection in first deck. Echo of the selected card in the second deck. How would we clean up? The natural closer. Oh, okay, yeah, if you close, then you don't have to clean up. Uh, Switch during the applause. Subtle justification. After showing the marked selection, leave it face on the table as proof. Scoop up the rest of the casually put it away. Since the important card is still visible, there's no motivation. Yep. Okay, for sure. So yeah, I mean, based on how I did that, this would make sense. I mean, that this makes sense, this makes sense. Fold in cleanup. Advanced sleight. This is the stuff I want to know after you reveal. So you talk, let the double backer right under the spread. Use a spread called to quietly steal the. All right, that's convoluted, but beautiful. Psychological distraction, takeaway. If you plan this as a closer, you don't need a cleanup. And then we do the echo. Okay. I was trying to spot where it came from or went and couldn't see anything. I know that was the yeah, let me go ahead and do that one more time and not have it be the 2 of diamonds just so that it is very... So this is the benefit of having it be free selection, right? Because then I can repeat the trick, which they tell you not to do, but I mean, I'm just practicing and tinkering. We are creating magic from ChatGPT. Here, let's go ahead and random card. Okay, cool. 6 of spades. Boom. They can pick the 6 of spades. Wherever that is. 6 of spades. Okay, cool. They look at it. They remember it. This is the echo. I can now... So, hands are empty. Picking up the deck. Oh, yeah. I didn't... Nothing is prepared. And then, what are we looking for? 6 of spades. So here we have the 6 of spades. And of course, this is the one that has the echo because all we need to do is just show you that this is the one with the echo. So see how it's blurry on the back there? Yeah. However, the echo doesn't last long. It just dissipates because, boom. Very clean now. I would say that one was okay. Would you like me to design a version where the deck can be handed out at the end completely examinable? Sure. So you guys that were here when I was searching through my gaff cards, you guys know that there is a card. You just don't know where it is, where it went. Awesome handling. Thank you, Count SC. Excellent. You're thinking like a worker. Both decks can be examined. You remove all suspicion. Yep. Guiding principle. Deck 1 can always be... Yeah, deck 1 is just normal. Deck 2 needs to look totally fair. Whatever. See, I mean, it's pretty close. I wouldn't hand it out to a spectator, but I could show them both sides, so that's fine. Invisible mark. Nope. Sleight only switch. Yeah, I would probably... So, because I like sleight, I would probably do this. A sleight only switch. On the fly. Mark. Nope. Dual revelation frame. What? Oh, this is like... This doesn't make it seem magical, though. I could... Like, this... I would handle the deck to basically do the magical thing and then be like, oh, okay, he just did something magical. I feel like this... This is a good way to clean, and then we can end. Yeah. Which ending ends strongest? Alright. Trick number 1. Not bad. From ChatGPT. 9 of diamonds. Okay, so here is the 9 of diamonds. You know, you had an idea of which card you already wanted. And when we think of a card that we select of, you leave an echo. So this deck has been here, and actually there's nothing strange about it, right? So, but I just want to show you that we can see the echo. Let's go ahead and find the 9 of diamonds. Okay, see. So here, we can see the echo of your card that you chose. Because if I just go ahead and I wave the 9 of diamonds over here, you'll see that it is the blue backed 9 of diamonds. I know, is that strange? That's very strange, right? But the echo doesn't last forever, because if we see that the original card is still here, this is actually the 9 of diamonds that was still here. Because that was just an echo illusion, because when you see that this is still the red one, this is actually the card that came from the red deck. That's strange. That's very strange.